Hi, my name is Kyle Jones. I'm going to talk a little bit today about kind of my two passions and then one thing that I've had to work through and learn hard work and work ethic through. Those two passions being fishing and hunting, and then that third one, kind of my hard work and work ethic skills are from Hurricane Harvey and my hometown suffering like kind of from some really bad devastation. I'm from Port Aransas, Texas. I'm 20 years old. I was born and raised there. And being there, I've got to experience so many different things in the outdoors, and that's kind of where my passions fall into. And what led me up to like being so passionate about those things is my dad. He's been my biggest inspiration, mentor, you name it. He has always been there for me, and never take a moment for granted. So living on the water, fishing has been like kind of my biggest hobby. I never take a day of fishing and say, oh, that was terrible, because it's better than sitting on the couch watching a movie or having to study for a test. It's never a bad day of fishing, in my opinion. So my dad, he's taught me anything and everything I know to this day about it. All his tips and tricks and secrets and how to watch the weather, when to not go, when you're going to be in danger. You don't want to be on the water when there's a thunderstorm and lightning. Anything and everything. He's been there for me and been the biggest inspiration and motivation about it. So through my teenage years, high school, and then up to now, I've actually taken what I've learned, and I fish competitively over the summertime in tournaments in Texas, mostly the Gulf of Mexico, but then sometimes like Costa Rica I've gone to. I've fished in the Bahamas quite often. When I say competitively, like money, trophies, round of applause, whatever you call it, it's kind of a, not being in sports in high school, it's kind of my sport, fishing, and so I've taken it on as kind of it's my thing, and I really love it. I'm extremely passionate about it. So one kind of thing that I want to mention about my dad in the hunting environment is there's a lot of safety that goes along with hunting, and when you're dealing with firearms and knives and whatever else is kind of a pose a threat to yourself or to others. And so his biggest thing has always been safety, and with safety comes lots of responsibility, and you can't ever take anything lightly, and he's always been there to tell me that, show me that, and just make sure that I'm always trying to do the right thing in those kinds of environments. When he's not around, like now, I'm not always with him when I'm hunting or always with him when I'm fishing with friends or with other family. I've taken what he's taught me and just kind of turn it into my own style on how to teach people that don't necessarily understand something, or they don't get the safety concept, or when they're fishing, like show them how to do something that might work better for them. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, and they just have to cope with however they're going to figure something out to make it better for them. And that's something that my dad has kind of done with me. He has really taken everything he knows and tried to pour it on me, and so now I've taken my own twist to it, and it's gotten me to where I am today. The last thing I guess I want to talk about as far as my three biggest like topics is Hurricane Harvey, and how with that he taught me teamwork, motivation, and just to not ever lose hope. Hurricane Harvey came through Port Aransas, I guess August of 2017, and to say the least, like our home there, it fared a lot better than most. We got 3 to 4 inches of water up above the baseboard, and so that being said, all we had to do was take out some sheetrock, fix the house, and we were fine. On the other end of the spectrum, my parents own a restaurant there in town, and it got 4 feet of water, and so 4 feet of water plus some roof damage. The building had to be bulldozed and completely totaled, get a check from the insurance company, and try and move on from there. And so what I watched my dad do is just kind of take it all on himself, but never in a negative way. He took it as, we're going to rebuild and be better. And so with that, I watched him persevere and just work hard with construction companies, contractors, and just amazing volunteers, like help us get through these the hard time of the hurricane. And watching him do that is just, it completely inspired me with something so devastating to a community that not just him, but the whole community working together to rebuild is just incredible. It was an awesome thing to watch. And I would be more than glad to go help other communities across the country that get tornado damage or even hurricane damage. The same thing, I'd always be there to help because I know it's not fun. In conclusion, so my dad's been there kind of my whole life, teaching me to always be the best that I can, never give up, and always work with a smile on my face. So what I've taken from him is don't try and grow up on your own. Have somebody that inspires you. Have mentors. Have people you look up to. Don't try and be your own person without inspirations, because anybody's advice is better than no advice at all. They're going to always have something that you can take from them to benefit you in the future. And lastly, I guess, to say who I am today, I couldn't be here without my dad. It speaks mountains of what he's done for me, and it's kind of shaped the way who I am. And if anything, I want people to see not a mirror reflection, but pretty similar to my dad himself, because I think he's just an awesome man, and I would do anything to be that great to kids that I had one day in the future, and to pass on what I've learned and what I've found to be beneficial in my life because of him. And so I'm Kyle again. Thank you. Have a great semester.